Well, I was very privileged because I was given, or my father was given tickets, and he wasn't able to use them for the Victory Celebration concert in 1945 at the end of the war, and it was held on the 28th of September at 6:30, and I went along with a friend, and it was the most marvellous experience, and it set me off really with a lifelong love of music. Oh, it's a way of life. The first thing I do in the new year when I get a new diary is put in all the concert dates. I mean, it's my hobby and almost raison d'etre. I really, really enjoy it. Well, going right back to the first concert, Sir Thomas Beecham was the conductor. Not that I knew who he was in those days. And I had a platform ticket, so faced him just behind the percussion section. And one of the things they played were the Plotzian dances from Prince Igor, where there's a very heavy timpani presence. And the percussionist started playing, and I could feel the vibrations from the drums on the seat and, sort of shaking me. And I found that very exciting. Well, Malcolm Sargent was the conductor when I first started coming. And Libor Pesek made a great contribution and was very well liked. But now we're so privileged to have Vasily. It's absolutely marvellous. People did regard us as a rather an elitist organisation. But now more and more people are coming into concerts who've never been in before because of the experience they've had with their children. The Everton in Harmony experiment really has been absolutely marvellous and has opened up the Phil to a lot of new people.
In 1944, the then Dr. Malcolm Sargent did a series of concerts for children, and my father bought tickets for my sister and myself to go to the 4 concerts, and that was the beginning of our going to the Phil. We were really bowled over by them. Sargent, not generally liked by the orchestras, was wonderful with children, and he used to invite us to go into the green room afterwards and talk to him about the music, and he would say, "Which piece did you like? Why did you like it? Would you like me to sign your programme?" Which he did. And then I also started going to concerts given by the Welsh Choral Union, which was the best choir in the district, conducted also by Malcolm Sargent. Went to those for years too. And so that commenced, and I'm now up to my 70th season. A great part of my life. I don't really know what I would have done without the Liverpool Philharmonic Society. It's been a fantastic part of my life. Had some tremendous experiences there. In fact, every concert now is an experience, even now. It's played an enormous part in my life. 1946, I went to my first performance of Elgar's The Dream of Gerontius, conducted by Malcolm Sargent, with the soloists were Hedl Nash, Gladys Ripley and Norman Walker. And I shall never, ever forget the impact of that concert, ever. Because Hedl Nash, possibly the greatest of English tenors, sang the part entirely from memory. And it just bowled me over completely. During the war, we were very fortunate to have people who'd escaped from Germany and Russia even came to England. The chief of them was Benno Moisevich, the great pianist, and he used to play concertos at the Phil. And we didn't realise then how wonderful it was to have this man I think that of all of them, Vasily Petrenko is the tops. You know, it's just, the standard of the orchestra now is the highest I think it's ever been. I told Vasily that, and he said, "Oh no, it's going to be even higher." The other conductor who I really adored was Sir Charles McCarras. Again, they're so friendly and willing to talk to you about it and listen to you. I get on very well with Jonathan, the lead cellist, Jonathan Aysgard, and Jim Clark. I have coffee with Jim Clark about 3 times every year, just before the concerts. Yeah, but I just think they're a wonderful lot. And the standard of playing is just fabulous. In one of those children's concerts, I remember Malcolm Sargent introduced the first piece, which was Mendelssohn's Overture, the Hebrides, and he sang, "How lovely the sea is." And I've never, ever forgotten that. And then he talked about Smetana, the Czech composer, and he said, "It's Smetana, not Smetana." And things like, he immediately engaged with the audience of children. Charles Groves, great conductor, introduced Mahler for the first time to Great Britain, really, through the Phil. And that was a revelation too. Very early on in my going to the Phil, the orchestra played the symphony by E.J. Moran, an English composer, and I was right on the front row on the left-hand side. And at the end of it, one of the violinists bent over and whispered to me, well, he more than whispered, he said, "Surely you didn't like that, did you?" The first time we heard the Mahler Second Symphony, there was a piece by Pierre Boulez before it. Can't remember the name of it. And my late wife, sitting by me at the end, said, "If they'd played that upside down, it would have sounded just the same." I had a great friend called Charles Gracie, and his music teacher was J.E. Matthews, who was one of the leaders of the orchestra before the war. And this was in the 1920s, and I knew Charles well, and he said to me that Jimmy Matthews said to him, "I want you to meet Albert Sammons, the great violinist at Lime Street, and bring him up to the Phil. You can walk." So he did. And Albert Sammons said to Charles, "Are you playing in the orchestra?" He said, "Yes, I'm on the back row of the violins." So he said, "Right, here's my violin," which was a Goffriller, very, very well worth a lot of money. And he said to Charles, "You can play this, and I'm going to play the concerto on your violin."